All right, everybody, what's happening? Professor Bobo here, joined on which side is it? It's on this side by the dashing Graysville. Gravesy, baby, what's happening, man?
Oh man, I'm excited, dude. This is like the best matchup so far this season. Like Div 1, two
Hey,
undefeated teams. This is crazy. And
all
what do
right.
you know? It's you and I. So
All right, so tonight we have Broken Alliance Gaming going up against Team Abusement Park. Listen, it's going to take a little while to get back in the groove. I haven't cast in like a month, so we're just going to populate this cast with like as many Bobo-isms as possible. I'm going to space out. I'm going to forget to press buttons. I'm going to say the wrong thing. Let's just cover all of the bases right now. I'll try to lay off the dad jokes. But we do have, the number 1 team and the number 5 team tonight. As we shift on over to our brand spanking new standings page, we'll go ahead and get the teams highlighted up in there. Both teams have pretty good records. We're in round number 7. But both teams, well, there's a bit of paucity of games, if you will. Team Abusement Park has had forfeits for quite a while, so the data kind of missing there. Graves, you've been casting Div 1 all season long. Who, here up in the standings has really jumped out to you in your travels?
well, I mean, I have to give it to BxA in terms of standing out because they've done a lot of that this season. They have just been on point, back and forth. Like every series so far, they've like just completely blown their opponents out of the water, and they haven't really had a consistent roster, which has been the strangest thing. Other teams that stood out 2+2, we know McNulty, he's been here around a while. He's got a really good team. The team that just played last week against BxA, Proxy Nexus, also doing a really good job so far this season. So those are a few teams that kind of jump out for me.
Yes, one more round, or actually really 2 more rounds before the playoffs, and we'll see what happens here up near the top of Div 1. We're going to flip through a little bit of a match preview tonight. This is like the alpha version. We'll hope to get to beta and then release when we can make these things look a lot more prettier than what Bobo can come up with, but we want to get you guys some information tonight, show you guys what's happening with these teams. As you can see, Broken Alliance, big fans of Volskaya Foundry, which is where we're headed first. Teams with some different map pools, as we do see, the emphasis on Infernal, and BxA has been working on Dragonshire for quite a few months. And then we do see also different hero pools as well. Before we do kick out, I do want to give a shout out to 2 players real quick, because we were messing around with the player spotlight as well. Shout out to Rossi over on the support side there for Abusement Park. And actually, I do remember seeing Rossi in like season 4 of NGS when a lot of like really notable supports had great seasons. That was a fun season. I think Redder actually was like the support god during that one. And Rossi's been with Abusement Park and this crew for a couple of months. On the other side for BxA, shout out to my boy Satat. He's got one of the best sub notifications in all of Twitch. He's also pretty darn good at the video game. Good to see him tonight. Once again, shout out to the supports and our maps tonight. Once again, we'll be heading over to Volskaya Foundry. Graves, we have Tomb Band out as well as Sky Temple. So we have a couple of popular maps up on the board. What do you expect to see from the series tonight?
I mean, Volskaya being the first map here, and you saw it on the last screen, that Abathur is a pretty strong pick for the side of Broken Alliance, and they play it on Volskaya, which not many teams see that often, but it actually works out really well for them. So I would expect perhaps Abathur play sometime in the series. Not necessarily has to be the first game, though.
We'll see where we end up going with that there, too. We got a couple of subs here tonight. We're just about to move into the draft. Slip showing up for BxA, and they're breaking out the Old Guard Hunter. CJ is going to be with us tonight as well. Teams are in in lobby. Let's head on in, man. I'm ready for this one. Game number 1 between Broken Alliance Gaming and Team Abusement Park. Here for Lounge, NA Season 1, heroes at the top of the meta, Tyrande, Maiev, Jaina. The tank priority's been pretty high. Great, some of your favorites for this season in terms of the heroes.
I mean, I would expect a high prioritization on that warrior pick, actually. Between like the Diablo and the Garrosh, I feel like both of them fit very well on this map in particular. Diablo, there's just a lot of choke points. You get slam people up there, a lot of crowd control. And then Garrosh, doing Garrosh things, throwing people around and not dying because armor, by the way.
Oh, man. Gary, always a good time. Diablo, Mal'Ganis have had some high priorities as well. 15 seconds on the ban here. First pick over on, we'll be on to the side of Team Abusement Park.
Yeah, and we saw earlier also Tyrande, another big hero choice for Broken Alliance, and I would expect that to be contested either as a pick or a ban. Well, there you go. It's a ban.
Yeah, don't please. Tyrande is a huge pain. I actually think right now she is the best hero in the video game. You can see she's got a very high pick rate, very high ban rate, and a slightly better than 50% win rate. Stats tonight encompassing really all of the divisions here in the Heroes Lounge NA Season number 1. We do get the Maiev ban as well, so 2 extremely popular and rather effective heroes are already gone.
So yeah, Maiev is pretty standard, and on this map, with that big open area in the middle, it's you have to ban her. Like, she's just too good here. The question is though, do they go into those warrior bans? They don't have to. There's still a lot of other damage, for example, available that they might look to prioritize. I mentioned the Abathur. All right, well, it is going to be the Warsi. It is the Garrosh.
Yeah. And we don't really see, I'm actually playing in Div 2. A lot of times we've been seeing like triple tank bans at the start of the draft, but I think Garrosh is really the main priority here up in Div 1. Where the tank pool doesn't really change so much, but I think they do tend to put a little bit more priority sometimes on like supports and some of the sort of higher win rate damages. There's a Zeratul ban. Zeratul is insanely good right now.
Yeah, the Zeratul ban, I mean, that's protecting the backline. It's, again, a very good wombo combo setup, so I like the ban. The question is, does Abusement Park, do they go into that Diablo pickup? Do they want to pick up a support early? Deckard seems to have fallen off a little bit, but he's pretty decent on this map in particular. You just kind of throw the potion rounds and then eventually people pick him up and get healed. But they're going to go focus on a wave clear and some burst damage with the Jaina pickup.
Jaina is really at the top of the mage meta. She has one of the best win rates. We're all heroes here in Heroes Lounge NA. She just outshines Kael'thas on many maps. Kael'thas does have some better maps, but also like Gul'dan struggling mightily. Li Ming is, kind of fallen off a little bit. So Jaina really providing both the PvP and the PvE. Makes for a fantastic first pick.
All right, well, I mentioned it earlier. It is the Abathur for Broken Alliance. And they're going to pick that Sylvanas. So this is another comp they've run in the past. It's crazy how good these two heroes work together. Abathur has traditionally been very slow in the early game. And Sylvanas, she can, burst down towers early on. But with the new Sylvanas, she just does a crap ton of damage. Like, it's crazy how much the new Sylvanas can do. And those two together work really well as we see a Nubarak and Greymane as the answer on the side for Abusement Park.
So they actually, on the side of Abusement Park, they do grab both of their damage heroes very early, but the Greymane ban really serves 2 different purposes. The Greymane pairs incredibly well with Sylvanas, as his siege damage is almost unparalleled as a ranged assassin, but also you take away a clone target. So I wonder if we're going to see maybe a priority here in the for the secondary ban for Abusement Park. Maybe they remove yet another clone. You get the Whitemane. That was a preferred healer for Arasi. I think he's got 4 games on Whitemane here in season number 1.
I would actually expect either a Blaze or Yrel ban, something in the off lane perhaps, because then they can choose one of the better 2 options. I mentioned Diablo. You could ban Diablo here. You could give it, because there's really just a lot of options for Broken Alliance in terms of tanks. So I don't think you necessarily want to target ban one of those unless you feel really strongly that one is going to be, a big impact. But okay, they do choose the ban the Diablo.
Do you sense that this could be a supportless Abathur, or will they pick up a healer for themselves?
I think they'll definitely pick up a healer.
Okay.
They need that sustain, and Abathur, while he has some sustain, I don't think it's going to be as good as they need. Plus,
they're long fights on Volskaya, and usually supportless Abathur is more hit and run.
Right, and we see Jaina and Anubarak, so they have the burst. Johanna is to pick up Karazim, which I believe is another one that they've run with Abathur in the past as well. So they have a pretty good team comp so far for Broken Alliance. So Team Abusement Park, they still need a support and an offlaner. What do you think for supports, though, with seeing the opponent's lineup?
I mean, right now you have to be quite afraid of the big possibility for burst damage here. I mean, Karazim, as well as Wailing Arrow, is really going to force you to kind of spread out there. I expect to see backline support. I don't think you're going to get anything frontline. We get a Brightwing.
Ooh.
And the Arthas. Arthas very good into Karazim. The Brightwing is an interesting pick. Brightwing has been one of the worst heroes for this season, but there are certainly occasions where she can make quite an impact. Your thoughts on the Brightwing pick here?
I don't like it. I don't know how to put that more blunt. I mean, okay, Tracer into Brightwing is interesting. That means they don't have a traditional offlaner on the side of Broken Alliance. They only have the solo warrior as well, which is interesting. I'm trying to think why Tracer into what they were showing. She does provide a bit of poke. Cocoon breaking is important.
Burn. Yep.
Otherwise, I don't know. That is an odd pick. But back to Brightwing.
Yes, please.
I don't know. So she has good spell armor, which is going to be important against Sylvanas and Abathur poke. So that'll be one way to help provide against that. But are they looking to disengage with Emerald Wind? Are they? I just don't understand. Like, why over other options? Like, if you had a Deckard, you'd have a Root at least. That would be a really good follow-up. You'd have. I mean, they've got a lot of crowd control already in the side of Abusement Park. You've got a Root into stuns, into whatever. But you could get even more. Ring of Frost is really good with a Deckard. Or even if you go like an Alex Strazo, you could just have really strong point control that you force your opponents off the point. I just don't see how Brightwing is better at any of those things.
Yeah, and I mean, it actually, it might wind up working, decently well into the Tracer. We may see something going on here. I'm really curious to see where the Anubarak Cocoon winds up landing. Is it just going to be the straight, try to get Johanna in the Cocoon, and then what is the target that they wind up jumping onto? Because there's actually a fair amount of mobility on the side here of Broken Alliance Gaming. This is a fast-moving Abathur comp, and the Johanna is there to provide that bit of wave clear as well.
Yeah, I mean, Cocoon targets, because they have Tracer on the opposite side, that's basically saying, oh, well, if we don't Cocoon Tracer, then they're just going to get out the Cocoon right away. So if anything, you would have to use your Cocoon on Tracer, but then they have a beefy front line in Johanna. They have plenty of sustain with the Kharazim and the Abathur. So I actually don't know now.
All right, we are ready to head on into the game. So let's pop in for game number 1. BxA going up against Team Abusement Park. All right, we'll throw our pop-ups up there. We'll start over on the side of BxA. Satat will be playing the Kharazim. Slip is going to be on that Tracer. Evasion will be playing the Abathur. The Captain Met on the Sylvanas. And Summon Tonight Hunter CJ hanging out of the back on the Johanna.
And on the right-hand side, it is Team Abusement Park. Jaina, played by Gray Powervan. Arthas, played by Tracer. That'll be fun to say.
That's never
AEDS, AIDS on Anubarak, Rossi on Brightwing, and Xenorus on Greymane.
I was really curious where'd you go, Eds or AIDS, and we have our answer in game number 1. All right, I mean, talents, everything looking pretty standard here. We do see Arthas moving into the Root Quest there at level 1 as Frost Presence is the pick up there.
Iron Fist Kharazim as well,
Of
so
course.
knowing that they have the support Abathur, that means he can do a little bit more damage. I'm actually interested to see as well if this is going to be 7-sided or Palm as the heroic choice on the side, as Nubrak going in for a Burrow Charge, and it looks like both teams are headed out to their respective lanes.
A little banter there regarding the mount.
Yeah.
I always love seeing Palm, even when it's not the correct choice, just because it makes for better entertainment. It's a cooler play. I expect the 7-sided. I feel like it's going to be very difficult to find kills on the tanks without it. How are you going to wind up burning those targets down? We do expect to see Slip really diving into the back line. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on Jaina here, the improved ice block quest, the baseline quest for Jaina is going to be of the utmost importance for her to get up to that 15k damage. First move towards a Merc camp in the bottom lane as BxA moves for the first fortification turret.
Yeah, we saw the danger ping up there as they're making sure that they're not actually going for support camp early on. As BxA, they do grab their turret camp, and they're actually looking to invade, as that is a pulse bomb out. And, does survive. Rossi is there with the heal on Gray. Oh my gosh, Greymane going in, get the kill onto Kharazim. That means the turret is down. Greymane gets away, as does Sliptachi. And it looks like both teams gonna back away from this engagement.
Shout out to Rossi there. We were curious about the Brightwing, and Brightwing saves. Score 1 for the Fairy Dragon as the heal comes on through. And first kill actually goes over. Satat on the Kharazim does get caught out there by Tracer on the Arthas. And we're going to have to be careful not to screw that one up.
That's right. So first objective of the game, we spawn here about 20 seconds in the middle lane. Finally, that turret camp was picked up on the side of Team Abusement Park. They are sitting around the support camp on the top side. Actually, it looks like HeroesLounge and Sylvanas have started that. I don't know if Abusement Park sees this. There's mines all around, and Nubrak coming in to check. It's going to be a little too late.
Sylvanas and Karazim are really good targets for the hat. Just Sylvanas with a high attack speed, Karazim obviously with his as well. So there's very few bad hat targets, and I think that will help to play out in the long run. We'll see where the sort of the off lane presence comes from. Do we continue to see Slip make rotates towards the bottom lane and maybe try to find a pick on the Arthas? Both teams moving for the Bruisers camps. Point A is up first in the next couple of seconds. We'll see who takes the first objective here on Volskaya.
Jaina going for Frost Armor at level 4 is really interesting, especially against a Tracer who can proc that really easily. As I say that, Jaina getting a Pulse Bomb. Rossi's there with the save, though. So a Pulse Bomb down, but that'll be up pretty quickly as first point so far held by BxA. Abuther at the top. We do have potential engagements. Not quite, as we see that the Earth Ally is the choice as well at level 4 for Karazim.
There's Iron Skin. Hunter CJ could be in a little bit of trouble here. We see Jaina with a bit of trace. The Howling Blast comes out. They're working on Johanna immediately going down. Ed's trying to get out of there. Brightwing will slap the heal onto Arthas, and Uberak gets traded out. Brightwing saves Arthas, and the Lich King trying to slide on in there. Both teams with a lot of trades going on here. We do see the items coming out. Arthas goes down to mines. Value. Slip.
Oh, Slip time. Oh, he almost had it thanks to that parting gift at level 4. Didn't get the kill quite there. But I actually do have to say, Slip did a really good job in that team fight. Got a Pulse Bomb that landed on 3 people, which really was a mistake by Abusement Park. They really need to spread out for that one. But they do have the point for now. Jaina is kind of low on mana as well. We'll have to see if how much sustain that they can stick around this fight for, as the turret has now died.
And this is a better channel for BxA. They did get to level 7 first. They're moving back to pick up their own fortification turret. They'll forego some of this objective here. Brightwing looks like she is actually doing work here. Tracer is connected on every bomb, struggling to find kills. The big heal from Brightwing has come through a couple times, as has the Polymorph.
Iron Skin down, but going in with the Condemn. Hunter CJ in the backline, but we do have an Uberak diving as well. This is going to be contested. Pulse Bomb goes out on a Brightwing. She does not get out in time. Rossi is dead and is a Nubarak. However, Tracer in the backline trying to get some damage done. Tracer on Arthas, that is, but he is dead. And that is a triple kill going over to BxA.
Zenarius using Eyes in the Dark to just barely get out of there, averting what could have been a potential full team wipe. Slip!
Oh! All right. All right.
Cold does a little bit of damage there. Tracer gets wiped out. Teams have been trading kills. A lot of these guys just haven't played in quite a while, so just try to shake a little bit of the cobwebs off. Before level 10, we've got 8 kills. The first objective in the Triggerlove Protector heads on over to BxA. They're looking to run it down mid. Great Power Van needs to be a little careful there. Let's see if Abathur and Tracer wanted to put a little flat tire on that gentleman. Now doing the Triggerlove shuffle, mid-wall, taking some damage. Top is up next. Abathur didn't get too much push value at a top. Does get the soak, though, and BxA will be first to level 10.
So still about 25 seconds left on this Triggerlove itself. They did get the towers, not the well quite yet, but they still have a bit of time if they choose to do so. But all 4 members at the top here on the side of Abusement Park, leaving Tracer on Arthas at the bottom. But Matt and Slip looking for something. Oh, nice stun there from Maneuver.
Tracer clone. Looking for Med here. He has Wailing Arrow, 7-sided.
Oh, the poly!
Again. Rossi showing up big on Brightwing. 7-sided strike using the iframe there. Johanna steps up with Iron Skin and Condemn. And now BxA looking to try to get out. Met sliding on out of there. Evasion's clone now expires. But, boy, Brightwing getting a lot of value in this game. And also, I mean, Abusement Park, they've really queued in on Iron Skin, and when that does go down. You can tell on the objective point, as soon as that cooldown is gone for Hunter CJ, Ed's on the Anubarak just immediately responds. And, you know, it's a burrow and it's a dive combination there that has worked out for them to some degree. 5-4 in terms of kills, both teams at level 10.
Blink heal from the Brightwing, so not going for the push away potential, just for some more healing. As yeah, that pretend fight worked out pretty well on the side of Team Abusement Park. We do have the water elemental, by the way, coming up from Jaina, so no Ring of Frost. Not looking for the water, or not looking for the Wombo combo, as Hunter CJ is going to back away. And Invasion coming out here on the side of Abusement Park.
And Great Power Fan about halfway through the Advanced Ice Block quest. I mean, listen, if you have a Tracer dive bombing you and you're the target, you just want to Ice Block, drop your welly, let the Snowman do a little bit of work. I love the Heroic. I actually think it's been the more effective one, just on a pure win rate. Just because, and especially you're looking at a team like this with so much movement abilities. I mean, you might hit 3 people with Ring of Frost, and then they all just might hit a button and then be out of it.
Oh, there's the
blast in the shield.
Deleted.
Wow, Wailing Arrow comes out. Arthur's low, and he barely slides out. Quick step up. Hunter CJ with the R button. And BxA continuing to win the video game.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a poor rotation, honestly, from Jaina. You don't want to be rotating through that way with all those members there, and obviously didn't work out for them as the camp is started here. So Tachi is a little bit low, taking some poke damage, but I believe they should be able to walk away with this camp just fine.
Slip slides up, does land a bomb onto Grayman, who was okay. He's also holding a biotic emitter, is Zenarius. The XP has been pretty even, and we do see up in the top lane, Brightwing doing a good job. You're dealing with the Abathur sort of passive soak. Man, XP real even. Great Power Van on the Jaina, making the move towards the Bruiser camp. There in the top lane, point B is 30 seconds away. Going to be an even 13-13 fight for sure.
Yeah, and we'll have to see how quickly Arthas actually does make this rotation. He's in the bottom lane right now. Does he stick around for another wave middle? Because of, I mean, I assume they want to get on this as quickly as they can before their opponents can even get their own siege camp, which spawns in about 45 seconds.
There's Tracer making the move up to be in here for the middle. They targeted Arthas. There's the Condemn, 7-sided strike. And the Cocoon comes out, but it is too late. Arthas goes down. Tracer should be okay to get out. Ed's actually made the move in with a Burrow. There's the Polymorph coming out, but Satat eats it on the Kharazim, and everybody looks okay. Army of the Dead, as well as the Welly hanging out, but the Summons are not going to swing this team fight as BxA pick up their 7th kill.
Yeah, so it was a really nice pick there. Again, that was just a risky rotation from Tracer. As yeah, we have Sliptachi doing some harass there with that bomb, but Abusement Park, they tried to turn that around despite that. You know, they had the Cocoon go out and they hit all the R buttons and they still didn't manage to get a pick. You know, you can criticize maybe that wasn't the right call, but I think they have the burst to actually turn that around.
Oh
my goodness.
Oh boy. The Abathur hat came in late. Eds has been very aggressive on this Anubarak, almost connecting there. This is a fight over the Biotic Emitter. Everybody up and available. Tracer doesn't have a bomb right now. Couple of Heroics missing. Cocoon's up in 4 seconds. Everybody's jumping onto this point. Jaina low. 7-sided strike comes out. Arthas and Anubarak trying to fight over the point here. Hunter CJ standing on the point is low. Arthas gets the kill. There's the Ice Block in the back. Grayman going off. Tracer gone. You can hear go for the throat being procced. And that is a huge win for Abusement Park. Met trying to get out. Zenarius is low. He got traded out. The hat coming through. Edge drops a Biotic Emitter. Picks up another one. Met is dueling him here. Welly gone.
What a mess.
Nobody left alive. A lot of buttons. Graves, what the heck just happened? Oh, and there's a mule.
I mean, there was a lot of back and forth there. It was kind of crazy. They dove the back line, getting the Brightwing early. They had the Abathur hat, and then Kharazim just like, well, I'm going to punch some people. But we saw the blow potential on the side of Abusement Park. They just completely... Jaina does a lot of damage. I don't know if you know that, but Jaina does a lot of damage.
Great Power Van slid up. Everybody's getting everything going. Jaina, you can see the Ice Block, not enough. Grayman gets, what, both procs on go for the throw it out. Slip hits the bomb, and there's 7-sided strike again. Cocoon on the top there. A lot of spread damage coming out. Met applying the poison there with the Cold Embrace from Sylvanas. Great Power Van steps up, gets the Welly out, but I mean, Sylv is just pumping that dot damage out. And I think Abusement Park needs to just figure out how to get rid of Sylvanas. I mean, that's been the big problem there. This build, popularized by the likes of Not Paradox, oh, by the way, is just putting out a ton of damage.
So, Emitter was used on the side of Abusement Park. You see, yeah, the clone does come out, and Sylvanas when they're going to go in here, and Tracer on the Arthas is low. You can see that 25 armor, but they're going to dive on the Tracer! Oh my goodness, and the Wailing Arrows and Disengage will not be enough. Metball trying to get away from this. The root is there. Arthas is so low, but he gets away.
Oh,
but
they go for the
Naris
throat!
gets the kill on a Sylvanas. It's a 2-man kill going over to Abusement Park. They just completely said, all right, hit the buttons, let's go.
Arthas barely escapes on out of there. The huge stun from Anubarak and the old school combo of Anubarak Arthas. A European bit of flavor, if you will, has served Abusement Park very well. The Howling Blast on top of the double stun from Anubarak, enabling that team fight to go the way of Abusement Park as they pick up their first Triglav Protector.
You know, I may have been criticizing the Brightwing pick early on, but it has definitely been working out. It's 7-sided being used here on the Triglav.
Miss? Click?
Perhaps. I don't think it does damage to non-heroes.
Slip under pressure. There's the Nintendo Power Glove is slapped onto Karazim, but he will slide away. 2 in the mid lane. There's the bomb to try to get rid of the Triglav as well.
Yeah, they need to get on this. If they
another
get caught
combo
out here, Brightwing coming in here though will save them time. The Water Elemental does go out. Triglav down to 9%. Does get chunked really hard. And BxA are defending this really well, but they did use a lot of heroics, including the 7-sided.
And Abusement Park does get the well in mid. That's a really big pickup for the later game. Oftentimes, you know, with Volskaya here, it tends to end over point C, the third objective, but teams wind up trading out these first 2 objectives. Sometimes you know that 4th point comes into play, and that mid-well is a huge structure in the middle of the map there. BxA have now lost that, and with that, they're having the mule. Obviously, that bad boy's not coming back. Good work from Abusement Park, and a good bit of fortification damage, structural damage there for them. Both teams hitting level 16.
So we might be in for a long one. Only 1 fort down so far on this map as Ross is getting dove in the top but gets away. I mean, the next objective is going to be spawning in the bottom, where Abusement Park is missing one, but there's the cocoon on to slip. Metball going to throw out the dot to get him on out of there. Water Elemental used as well. There's the blink, but Splatachi caught in the blizzard and gets deleted.
There's 7-sided strike, trying to answer that back. Johanna caught in the Howling Blast under CJ with a fort behind him, but he doesn't have the Iron Skin up. And the Cleansing Touch is not quite enough. Johanna goes down as well. There's the clone.
Nice.
Evasion's just using this to try to get the spread damage. Look at the dot damage, though. Look at this get turned.
Evasion going in on the clone. Oh, all right. Evasion on the clone survives for now, but that was a really risky play. Just even using that amount of cooldown to get some damage in, confirming that they're on this camp. I do have to say, Will of the Forsaken has been getting a lot of value on Sylvanas as well, getting that unstoppable, just get away from all of that damage. And the 13 pickup, Cold Embrace, the additional armor reduction has been, I mean, you mentioned the spread damage that she's been doing. That's why it's been so much damage for Broken Alliance, because of that additional 25 armor.
They're just struggling to answer the lockdown on the side of Abusement Park. And, you know, you take a look at what happened over that last objective fight. Slip is in the cocoon. Actually does not get hit with CC directly coming out of it. The Howling Blast was a little bit early. In fact, I only think Anubarak really hit 1 piece of CC on Tracer, but it's enough because Zenaris on this Greymane has just been on point. It's the R button on the spot, and you've got that long polymorph from Brightwing. It is more than enough to get Tracer just done. There it is again. It's the top with the breakout. You see the welly, and Blessed Shield was used but did miss Iron Skin as well. Keep an eye on Brightwing. Where's the poly coming in? Where's the teleport from Rossi?
You can see the mule coming down top lane as well. Level 20 not quite here yet for Abusement Park, and that is an opportunity potentially for Broken Alliance to make something happen because they are down levels. Indeed, they are going to go ahead, but it looks like they are going to get on the point. 7-sided gold, Wailing Arrow as well, but that Blizzard on the point doing so much work. Eventually, Anubarak will fall, but BxA is so low. Rossi doing some great healing. Johanna go for the throat.
Zenaris putting more damage on Satat. Howling Blast connects on Evasion's clone that will scamper away. And it will provide just enough cover for Satat to get on out. They're just keying in on Slip. He's just going in a blink.
Yeah, just, I mean, the crowd control. You know, again, Brightwing. We'll go back to Brightwing. Picking Tracer into Brightwing is so risky. Because we see polymorph, you just die. You know, you get a cocoon, and you get some kind of crowd control out of the cocoon. Jane and Blizzard with a Cone of Cold is just like ripping almost all of Tracer's hit point.
And just flashing a couple of quick Brightwing talents. We have Critterize at 16, so you've got an armor reduction on the polymorph. And then you've also got Unstable Anomaly as well, just for the, the slow to try to help set up a little bit of some easier CC. Just absolutely doing work. The Sylvanas poison damage is amazing, but it doesn't matter if Tracer is just removed from the fight before the full application it can go through. I mean, Satat's laying, 7-sided strike out there immediately. It's just been so well answered. The Anubarak play has been outstanding, and a shout out to Eds.
Slip looking for something here on the back line. It is a new, and Arthas is still not anywhere close here, so they need to be very careful. Jaina's on the way looking for something. Meanwhile, they are grabbing this objective. Still no 20 for BxA. I was going to say Brightwing was sitting on her 20. She finally chose it. Did go for the Speedy Dragon, the additional permanent 20% move speed.
That's a great talent, by the way. Because it's just funny, like, how is everybody moving so quickly? Oh, yes, Brightwing things. Bottom lane has been opened up for both sides, with the Triglav Protector will be certainly moving towards the keep in the bottom lane here. BxA does still have the camp pressure up top. Rossi will be taking care of that on the B-dubs. 20s are picked and up on the board. I do think the big one here is going to be Get Stuffed. If Slip is going to turn this game around on that Tracer, going to need Get Stuffed to get the bomb proc immediately to try to secure the kill there. Mule coming out. Looks like
and Hive Mind as well. Here goes.
There's
oh my goodness. No, really not there in time. Jaina goes down, as does the Greymane, and BxA just completely blew that apart. The Triglav does pick up the Tracer, but this Triglav needs to get out of here. Otherwise, the two tanks will also find themselves dead. Brightwing, Rossi, not going to be there. Got canceled out of that. Actually, no, they're going to try to turn this as Cocoon on Sylvanas. That is the best target. However, do they have the damage here between the two tanks and a Brightwing? She is a little speedy. Gonna try to get the Tracer on Arthas away. Army of the Dead is used. They're trying to get onto Johanna, but she has the Iron Skin. Hunter should get away. Metball is low. Do they have another Wailing Haunted Wave? Yes, they do. And when all is said and done, they get out of the Triglav.
Seven-sided is up in 4 seconds. He's gonna take a rip here. If somebody winds up getting separated, keep an eye on whether or not Edge uses Burrow.
There's that 25 armor as well.
There it is. Nubarak gets the point. Over the wall, Blessed Shield comes through. That'll do it. Yep. Too far to go. Ed's moved towards the wall to use that there for the opportunity to try to, put some space in between himself and the other members of BxA, but Karazim doesn't quite mind walls being in the way. Satat just setting up for the 7-sided strike, but yeah, Tracer just getting deleted out there. And that came after the Wailing Arrow, more than anything, securing the kill on Jaina and Greymane. They both went down in a blink. Triglav, dropping that little phase bomb of his, took out the Tracer. So at 21-21, we have almost 30 kills. No keeps have been removed. This is a long Volskaya game.
That's Ice Block down as well. This is a long Volskaya game. I also have to give shoutouts to an Abusement. Really great job in Hive Mind at level 20. Like I said, it's online and it's doing work. They're currently ahead of the healing and Karazim, which you might expect with an Iron Fist Karazim. But, I mean, that's why I feel they actually did turn around that bottom lane Broken Lines, because they had Hive Mind. They could heal and deal damage the whole time.
That long fight, you can see when they started to turn it, they were looking to turn the fight. Right when Satat had about 10 seconds left on 7-side, and they felt like they could pick up a kill. Arthas doing all that he could. Level 20 Arthas hits like a truck, and it's always sneaky how he winds up winning. Some of those team fights, we've had some success ourselves there in Div 2 with late game Arthas.
So, since we are back to the beginnings, hold on, we might have a team fight. Invasion, Cologne going out already, Cocoon as well. Slip gets away from that one. The huge damage coming out onto the Karazim. He will die. That Gopher doing a lot of damage. The Blizzard getting good value as well, but now Hunter finds himself caught between a rock and a hard place, and that will be Johanna going down. No indestructible from her, instead of going for that blinded by the light at level 20. So 2 kills going over to the side of Team Abusement Park in the late game. This is deadly.
It's going to be almost a minute before the entirety of BxA are back. For Abusement Park, it's tough right now, given that they're pushing into an Abathur comp. If they do wind up, going to try to end the game, they might have to pull it off. I might have spoken too soon there. That is a level 22 death for Tracer, who is a full minute away. Eds.
Are they gonna core here?
Oh, definitely.
I mean,
why not?
Only Sylvanas and Abathur.
No, Clone is up and available in, what, 15 seconds? Met's going to have to try to do this here. Watch the poison damage there for Sylv. There's the polymorph. Trapped in by the root. The shield is gone on the core, down to 80%. Yeah, this should do it. Abusement Park is going to take game number 1. What a darn good victory for these gents who, boy, they said they haven't played the game in a month. Couldn't really tell. Looking pretty good there.
Yeah, wow, congratulations to them. That was a really great end of the game. Team fight really turned things around. Again, I'll go back. Brightwing, good pick. I called it in the draft.
Hey.
Yeah. Worked out pretty well, I would say.
Rossi on that Brightwing, there for quite a few heals. Quite a few of the kills there. You can see getting good numbers on the heal as well. But, I mean, this game is just all about slip on that Tracer just getting bodied. I mean, the combos were there. You can see Tracer runs going 2 and 8 in that game. Man, we knew it was it was a risky pick of the draft.
Yeah.
It actually looked okay early, but it just seemed like Abusement Park made the adjustments, particularly as the game went on.
Yeah, I would agree to that. I mean, it was a risk. They obviously weighed the pros and cons, and like you said, it did work out for them pretty early in the game. But then the later you go, those crowd controls and the burst damage with Jaina is just too much for a Tracer to handle. Like it was too much, and we see Greymane go for the throw. They just have so much burst.
It was massive. We'll go ahead and we'll reconfigure and get our lobby back under the way as soon as we can. So Abusement Park does take game number 1. We'll go ahead and we'll get the message out in chat. All right, heading into game number 2, I think we can maybe expect a little bit of a, I don't know, I guess you could say a safer comp for BxA. Mm-hmm. I mean, any changes you want to see there from the draft on the side of Abusement Park? It certainly seemed to work out for them in game number 1.
Actually, I think they had a really good draft. They had really good wave clear between the Jaina, the Arthas, and Greymane. They kind of had a pretty strong mix of everything. I feel like they played together really well. I think that's important. You know, their coordination on, hey, let's hit our buttons right now. This is the target. Go, go, go. They did a really great job, as we saw, bursting down even the slippery Tracer. So I don't know if there's anything they really necessarily need to adjust other than continue to adjust to your opponent's draft. You know, we saw the Brightwing, and yeah, it worked out really well for them. Picking their 2 damage their 2 damage dealers early, I think, was important to them as well.
It was interesting. I mean, usually, I mean, that, you kind of want to say that's like sort of considered to be a flaw, but it almost seemed like they picked their 2 damage dealers with the express purpose of just trying to figure out, okay, where is BxA going with this? Greymane and Jaina, really, they just cover all of your bases, right? They've got their PvE, they got the PvP. You know, Greymane also, I do think, you know, maybe you're thinking about kind of taking the clone away, but I mean, man, it's just a little bit of an odd comp there. We are headed to Towers of Doom for game number 2. The best map to cast, in my opinion, in competitive odds. My fave.
Yeah, one of the ones not touched by the recent changes. I mean, I like this because you always have to fight around a team or around an objective. The game will eventually end. That's why I like this map as well. Again, it's not going to be a late game objective just completely nullified. You have eventually have to actually answer to it. We'll have to see, because this game, or this map, excuse me, is a lot more macro focused. You know, you have to take control of that bottom lane and take control of those 2 sapper camps. I do say that both the teams did a pretty good job in terms of item control in last game. Getting their support camps, getting the turret camps, those are both very important to get, especially later in the game. So I don't know if I really see an advantage to either team in terms of the map choice.
You know, the one thing about Towers is, excuse me, I think we can expect another high priority on Abathur. I would probably be surprised if he actually wound up making it through the ban phase here, but I mean, this is like an Abby special. This is one of the maps where you definitely could still, I think, play supportless, but again, I think Abby does get taken out early. Tyrande has massive value here. Don't think she'll make it past the ban phase. Maiev and Zeratul, again, they are always going to be up at the top of the draft here at this level. Those are heroes that just have to be removed. There are some other specials here you can break out on Towers of Doom, of course. Often see like a lot more Stukov play. You can get to see like some of the more delay heroes. Hanzo and Junkrat tend to do pretty well. And then the other globals. Dahaka has been massive here in NA. I think he's up at like a 55% win rate across all divisions. Certainly outshining, Falstad and whatnot. So, Dahaka could be a part of the draft as well.
Yeah, and Sylvanas put in a lot of work in that last game for Broken Alliance. So I don't know if that is something that is a concern for Team Abusement Park, because that Cold Embrace, that 25 armor, and the 10 when it spreads, it did a lot of value for them the last game. And when you're standing around a central objective where you have to fight over, spread damage, it's good.
All right, teams are in lobby. Let's see if they are ready. Game number 2, Abusement Park, taking it. And actually, that's the first map that BxA has dropped. I didn't think about that. They have been undefeated this season. But I mean, Abusement Park. Listen, BxA, is a team that has worked their way through the open div. But like Abusement Park in this group has been around through NGS for a couple seasons. They know what they're doing, and they've also had like a really good season. Even though they might have gotten away with quite a few games, because of like some forfeits and teams dropping out in Div 1. But I mean, I've seen them compete at a number of different levels. And even listen, it's a good team. Sticking together for quite a few months, as far as I can see. Okay, everybody ready? Just flash our maps really quickly. We headed to draft shortly. Towers of Doom, game number 2. There we go. I love this map. I really do. I don't know. Like every time you go to Towers of Doom, you're hoping for like one team to get a huge lead and then the other team to make a comeback, and then you get like the tower special with the old, like the boss altar play to try to end the game. It's not as rare as many would think when you cast a lot of games, and it is seriously the best part of this map. I love it. All right. First pick over to BxA. This was the map selection of Team Abusement Park. We'll see where they are headed with the first ban.
I mean, I would still expect those same priorities of last game, though, between like Maiev and Tyrande. I don't necessarily see a Garrosh ban on the sign of Abusement Park's this time. I think other things might stand out for them. Like I said, the Abathur or the Sylvanas might be an earlier ban choice for them. But you mentioned it in the first draft. Tyrande is just, she's so good. Like, why did they give her the talents at level 1? They're, Alloon's chosen was at 7, and then now they put it at 1. I don't understand.
I think it's really funny that people call that a nerf, and I'm like, yeah, but by level 8 she's the same hero. Like at level 7 she's the same hero. Oh, at level 6 she's not. Oh, okay. That was just like a net whatever. But hey, if you can take advantage of the first 6 levels of Tyrande and win the video game, I'll tip my hat to you. The respect ban, the bug has been removed, and Nubarak is gone.
I think that's a really smart ban from Broken Alliance. Nubarak doing a lot of work in the last game, setting up the combos, starting out with the Cocoon. Nubarak is just in a strong spot right now. Also went for a bit of a Beetle build early on, that level 4s and level 7, and it worked out really well for them. It was tanking some, or trying to tank some pulse bombs, but Garrosh is the ban, so they actually will let a Maiev potentially go through, or even Tyrande. So the question for Abusement Park is, which one do we hate the most? And I mean, I would say Tyrande has to be the ban. She's got owls, hoot hoot, you're interrupted from across the map. That seems to be the choice for me.
But if you let Abathur go, is it a first pick Abathur? Do you let both of them go? Or do you want to specifically make a play for one of those heroes if you consider them to be at the top? And also, like I said, Maiev's up there. Like, there's 3 great heroes. They get rid of the Tyrande. And we'll see where BxA goes with the first pick of the draft. Yeah, leaving Maiev up. Abby's still up. There we go.
So they do choose Abathur as their priority. I mean, it wasn't a snap pick. They had to think about it. Like, is this really better than what potentially we could be giving away? Because if Abusement Park, they could get a Maiev right here, which would be really good, especially, again, early game where Abathur will struggle and Maiev can get the picks pretty easily in the early game.
And, they were using Cocoon to set up kills. You can go ahead and grab Containment Disc, and it basically serves the same purpose here. Again, if they have it, and then we go double global, so we got Brightwing and Dahaka to answer the Abathur out. Abusement Park basically stating we will not be missing a wave during this game.
And that's confidence from Rossi. He's like, I played Brightwing last game. It worked out really well. You know, don't doubt it. Brightwing's the hotness. As Diablo is the pick for Broken Alliance, and they get the Jaina this time, and that'll be a nice clone for Abathur.
So, I mean, not only does Brightwing have a global, but also when you do see the Abathur here, I mean, maybe they just sort of cued into what BxA likes to do. You know, they actually, if you remember, what was the secondary ban in the first game? Like, it wasn't a clone target. I think they actually wound up banning a tank out? Ooh, I can't remember. Chat maybe can help me out. But, so, anyway, what we're getting to is, like, listen, if you know that BxA wants to play with an aggressive, dive-oriented clone target, you know, Brightwing can take care of a lot of that. Genji does get banned out. But you know that Slip might be, you know, thinking twice about the Tracer here.
Yeah, and I'm also wondering if Broken Alliance is going to go for the Kharazim once again. Kharazim, he will struggle a bit into longer sustained team fights. He doesn't have the best amount of mana, but again, you got Abathur, and he out-healed the Kharazim last game, so maybe that's not something they care about. Maev is the ban, though, because Abusement, they didn't pick it because they prioritized that Dahaka Brightwing early.
Listen, that's a good pickup there. On the Maev, with both of the DPS slots up and available. Important to take that hero out of the equation, especially with Diablo. Listen, Containment Disc on a Dibbles, and then you can just slide right on past and find your target. That would have been a pain to deal with. We get a Muradin, and we get the Grey Mane. Going back to the Greymundo.
Well, they have a lot of crowd control once again from Abusement Park. You know, you got the Stormbolt from Muradin into a Lickitung Dahaka Polybomb. I mean, that's, again, the burst. We saw it last game. Muradin, though, if you have to land that stun, it's a little bit harder than an Uberak who can just burrow on in. There are potential things to block that Stormbolt, so they have to be a little more coordinated. Last picks, though, for Broken Alliance will be the Kharazim, or do they choose something else for their support? It's going to be Samuro and Lily.
Okay. All right. I felt like this draft threw it off. I thought Abusement Park was just gonna go with like the Muradin Li Ming combo here, but now you've got to try to get a Li Ming orb through like a mountain of clones and just a big mess. I mean, they might still go with it. Lily and Samuro. I expect, what is it? Is it gonna be Slip on the Sam?
Living bomb value potentially.
This is wild.
Yeah, this is wild. I'm ready for adventure. But let's talk about that last pick for Kel'Thas, though. That is interesting. So I think Kel'Thas is the choice here because, again, Living Bomb against Samuro clones, they can spread very easily.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of all the reasons you would go Kel'Thas over something else like a Gul'dan, for example. Gul'dan being able to stack up that Echoed Corruption against Samuro, also very good. And because they have the double support, maybe that's not something they want because they want the burst damage. So that way they say, hey, Kel'Thas, go Pyroblast someone. I'm not sure. I mean,
you honestly could go with either option here. I don't expect to see Pyroblast. Actually, I think Phoenix, but I mean, you could make the case for it here, right? Lily would kind of wind up being vulnerable. I guess you could wait out the Ice Block on Jaina, but either way for Kel'Thas, it's really going to be about getting Mana Addict stacked up in the early game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be super important. Try to go ahead and make sure that he's got that shield up there. But Samuro's gone through, a big nerf. Way of Illusion at level 1 nerfed. And every bit of that hero really played off stacking in the early game, and then late game damage. I think Harsh Winds at 16 went through a nerf as well. When Samuro pops out of Invis, he does wind up providing more damage. So we'll see what Slip can do with the Samuro. We'll see if it's going to wind up being teamfight or macro oriented. Graves, game number 2. Who do you give the advantage to here with these slightly off the cuff draft here from BxA?
I mean, because I want to see a game 3, I gotta give it to BxA. They're gonna throw some wind with Lily. They're gonna toss around some tea, and they're gonna walk away with it.
Right on. All right, so we're ready to head on into game number 2. Val, cue us on up, buddy. All right, for BxA, looking to even this series out. Satat will be taking us on an adventure with the Lily. Met's gonna be playing the Jaina, Slip on the Samuro, Hunter CJ on the Dibbles, and Evasion yet again on the Abathur.
And on the right-hand side, it is Team Abusement Park, with Rossi playing the Brightwing once again. Great Power Van on Kel'Thas. Eds on Muradin. The Tracer on Dahaka. That gets me every time. and Zinaris playing Greymane.
Zinaris with that Greninja in game number 1, a lot of kill secure. Survived through multiple kill attempts, especially in the early game. And as long as Greymane was staying alive, it certainly seemed like Abusement Park had the recipe for success in game number 1. Let's see what they can do in game number 2.
No surprise here, we still have the Wave Illusion coming up for Samuro, by the way. Lily going for Wind Serpent. I was actually curious to see what build Lily goes. You don't get to see Lily that often, as Hunter CJ going in, but Rossi's there with the save. Kel'Thas, great power van up against Latachi, needs to be careful there. Getting the stacks in early, or getting the globes in early, though, important. I was going to actually say, you know, you could go for a certain Flame Strike challenge at level 1, but no, Dahaka is dead.
I don't think we're going to be seeing Convection idea. Tracer got into trouble there, just showing the back to the wall. Great power van, 1 auto attack away, but does manage to get away.
That Rossi was so greedy.
Rossi with the assist there on the Brightwing, keeping the Kel'Thas alive.
He went for the globe and almost died for it. Was it worth it?
Listen, we're going to find out. Value Town for the Kel'Thas. Dahaka up top almost found evasion. Looks like you got a tongue grab there on the slug. Zerg against Zerg. A little bit of Zerg on Zerg. Crime at the top lane. Greymane sliding down into the bottom half of the map. Both teams getting their Pumpkin Sapper camps started and done at just about the same time.
Yeah, so I mentioned it earlier in the draft, prioritization of this bottom lane. The 2 Sapper camps are really important on this map in particular. They can push in, they're a win condition. As we can see, Hunter CJ flipping on over that Murden, making sure he can't get out. Wave clear, name of the game, and we do have Jaina in the bottom lane, but Kel'Thas up in against the Samuro in the middle, so their wave clear is only pretty much the Greymane and the Brightwing in the bottom lane for Abusement Park.
I think Abusement Park is really yet to figure out how they want to set the rotations up. They did have Rossi Soak in the offlane. He did show up, and so it's going to be a battle. Wow, did Tracer just grab Slip out of stealth? Was that a hot shot from Dahaka or what? Slip will actually wind up winning the trade, but it looked cool. So we've got the double globals of Dahaka and Brightwing going up against Abathur and Samuro. So let's go ahead and let's try to find the right stat set. We've got APM XP total there. We'll try to keep an eye on that. Abathur winning thus far in the early game. Dahaka just behind him. Samuro and Brightwing kind of even. Slip moving for that top camp.
Hunter CJ gonna flip around the Murden, making sure he doesn't get in his way. As we have a triple altar spawning always in the first time, and this is where it matters. You know, can you get value out of your globals? Can you stall this objective out? Because between Abathur and the Samuro, that's a lot to deal with. As we have the healer in the top is important. Because Brightwing is top, she can't help in that bottom lane.
So I think Tracer is either looking for the channel or the burrow. We have both the globals there up in the top lane. Slip on this Samuro with a great illusion spawn there, preventing that channel. Tracer doesn't have drag yet. Out in the bottom lane, Ed's under pressure a little bit from Hunter CJ. Eats the gravity lapse there. Diablo gets chunked out. Dahaka still trying to channel. Got a bunch of clones around. Here comes the teleport in from Brightwing in the bottom lane. After they're getting the channel through. Samuro v Dahaka in the top lane. Diablo under a bit of trouble there. Eats the polymorph, but now has a target with Brightwing. There's the flip, the suplex. And Brightwing goes down. The second kill. Now the chase is on. Zinaris might find Diablo. Slip gets the channel in the top lane. Edge goes in, but he gets traded out. There's the burrow. Zatat in trouble. Lily and Dibbles. One are gone. Maybe a couple more auto attacks. Zatat.
Okay, that was crazy. So several things. Slip did get the channel in the top right. I mean, that was really important on them. But again, because they had the healer, Rossi and Brightwing, as a global in the top lane, they weren't able to really sustain that early on. And Slip just basically winning a 2v1 in the top lane is insane. As Tracer might get caught out, you're actually going to burrow away from the Abba clone. No! That's the damage you can get from a Samuro with Abahat.
He must have not had any trait up and available. Met winds up capping the camp here, and Slip finding a lot more success in game 2, showing that Samuro, despite the nerfs, still quite a valuable hero in the right hands. Power Van. Boy, I think Hunter was looking for the quick combo there, just could not get the suplex following the devastating charge.
So 4 kills to 1 so far in favor of BxA. Great Power Van looking for someone, not finding them. We actually have the wraparound from Diablo. Hunter CJ maybe looking for someone. Murden already used the Dwarf Toss. Polymorph though, and the Flame Strike. Great. And it looks like both of these teams are actually going to walk away from this one. No one getting a kill there, but that was close.
Hunter with the assist there to Met. Slip finishes the camp off. Samuro clones cutting the way for a hot minute there in the bottom lane as BxA looking with certain dominance down there. We've got Mule up in the top lane with Dahaka. It is going to be a mid and bot spawn for the second objective phase. Both teams at level 7, but about a 1 level lead for BxA.
So we'll have to see how either of these teams want to play around this objective. You know, the global in Dahaka is in the top. He could rotate to the middle. Abathur getting some good value with his Mule as well. But it looks like for now they're actually choosing to leave Brightwing middle and Dahaka is staying up there as they're going to try to channel the bottom one. But Sliptachi, I mean, going to go into a great power by get the knockup. But nice job there from Slip getting away. The channel does go through. The question is, do they get out of here? As Eds is low, but he's going to go in, and Satat gets the polymorph with the flame strike on top of it. Lily going down, and Eds does not get away. Slip in the back line as well with the Abahat. Flip going out onto Zenaris, but he gets away. Nice double knockup from Great Power Band. It looks like Slip is low, but survives.
Wow. I thought there was a chance that Abusement Park might have just, you know, sat back a little bit, maybe try to close the XP gap. They brought Brightwing and Dahaka down. Dahaka did wind up tracking down the Lily there, 5-2 in terms of kills. Level 10 unlocked for BxA. We got another Welly game, Illusion Master, the Clone, Lightning Breath, Satat still holding.
Oh, that is a water dragon from...
Did he do it?
No jugs here.
Satat likes playing offensive supports, and in that fine tradition, we've got a water dragon.
Huntress TJ, nice.
Good spot.
Yeah, nice job there from Rossi checking that bush. Slip doing a great job with the evasion Abathur hat, just taking control of this map. And really, this is what's been going really well for BxA so far. They've been taking control of the map with Samuro and Abathur, regardless of how the bottom lane has been going, which has also been going for good for them. They've been doing the rotations well, keeping up and even bettering the Dahaka and the Brightwing.
Oh, here comes Power Band the target. Well, he's out. We heard Cursed Bullet, but Diablo's going to be okay. Kael'thas is not. Water Dragon comes out.
Dragon gets 2 of them.
Oh, the Lightning Breath. Zenaris should wind up being next. Here comes the chase down. Samuro is not going to let you get away, young man. The Monkey King, jumping around all nimbly-bimbly, does find yet another kill. 8-2 in terms of kills there. BxA seizing this game with a great level 10 play. Kael'thas goes down, swiftly followed by Brightwing and Greymane, and that is going to be yet another channel. And an 8-shot advantage on that core health.
I mean, I just have to say, the Water Dragon already basically secured 2 kills, so it's already worth. It's already worth.
100% value. It was the greatest Water Dragon I've ever seen in casting competitive Heroes of the Storm, because I'm pretty sure it's the first one well played by Satat.
We do have the Pyroblast from Kael'thas, so we'll have to see who is the target on his side, but great pressure. I mean, that's what I was saying the whole time. Flip with a clone, I mean, the Abahat, excuse me, is so good. As Ed's looking to harass. Does he get a Pyroblast onto the Dragon? With the Water Dragon, there's the Avatar, the cleanse, but he was already flipped afterwards. Murden will get picked off here, and great job once again, 9 kills to 2 in favor of Broken Alliance.
We got a Meatball, we got a Water Dragon, we got Slip just destroying this map. 9-2 in terms of kills. BxA starting to flex a little bit on the Abbey. As soon as they get this bottom fort, and it might not be this rotation, they might need a couple more waves. They're just going to strangle it. Tracer on the backside here with the Dahaka, looking for the tongue grab. Hunter trying to get rid of him. Now Dahaka might set his sights on Diablo. They're the clone. Not quite yet.
Down. Dahaka brewing point blank. They're going to try to maybe turn this around. No, Water Dragon does land. There's the polymorph as well, and they get the tongue, but Great Power Van is low, taking damage from the minions itself. Slip is there, he sees it, goes on the back line, but Rossi saves him. Hunter CJ gets away, nice healing from Satat and evasion. Eds has to back away, And I think these teams looking to reset.
Oh my god. They had better, because Slip made Kael'thas run in an opposite direction for the rest of the team there. Samurai on the back line there. Probably one auto attack away from just insta-jibbing Kael'thas. Tracer now trying to get a little bit of delay. Going to have to deal with a welly there. Dahaka, I don't think he has enough trait. Blizzard's out. Slip's on the back line. Dahaka stays alive for a little while longer. Slip is low, has the bomb, uses Illusion Master to slide out, putting some pressure on the Murder in the bot. There's Zanaris is stuck as Hunter pins him up against a wall. Diablo went hunting and found himself a Greninja. That is 2 more kills. Whoo boy. And with this objective phase, this is another 4 shots going over to BxA. The map is about to be theirs. They have mid and bottom prepped very well.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Abusement Park. They are losing control of these team fights. They're losing control of the map. And really great job, like I said, from Broken Alliance, using all of their tools they have available at their disposal. They will grab this bottom fort. They can set up themselves for taking the siege camps as well. They'll be in control of level 16 shortly, which will give them another talent advantage. What do you do if you're Abusement Park to get back into this, dude? Do they need to just look for kills, or how do they handle this?
I mean, they need to reset the map, but they're gonna have to take it on the chin for a little while longer. There's there's 2 camps up and available in the bottom lane. They have been unable to secure in the top. They're just gonna have to. The Mule is out as well to try to delay this. Hunter CJ is in deep. That fort's about to go down. Curse bullet onto Diablo. Will be okay. There's the conversion.
Ed's jumped in.
Look at Satan on the Lily. Here comes a dragon. Who's it coming as? It's an Aris. No, the bombs are going out. It lands on the backside. Samuro actually does go down. 2 for 1. Slip is gone. This is a converted bell tower there in the bottom, so BxA will have to slide out. Tracer up in the bottom lane. Small victories for Abusement Park. Listen, every kill does matter, but I mean, what we're kind of getting back to is like, all right, maybe at some point they've got to give up a boss or maybe 2 bell towers, right? And maybe let the gap increase on the core health just so they can come back a little bit and try to find a way back onto an even talent tier. They're
but triple altar.
Oh boy, they're 2 full levels down. They'll pick up one of these and they'll lose 10 core health.
I mean, they don't necessarily get any of them. If they have a Samuro up in time, which he is now, if they can stall out the top right, all right, they're not willing to do so. I was like, they've got, yeah, he's gonna had it, install it. Yeah, see, he's got 1 interrupt here, but it's not gonna be another one.
Oh.
As Eds might find himself caught up here, and Rossi diving in with the save. So nice job. They do interrupt the middle. Tracer finally getting that interrupt. Water Elemental is up. Eds coming back here as well, but look at that, Met doing so much damage, but Curse Bullet as well. Jaina gonna use the Ice Block. Meanwhile, Eds is there, but Jaina will die. Water Elemental lands only on the Murden, unfortunately, and
oh, the Kael'thas value. Oh. Hunter might get some kills here.
Get away from this.
Lightning Breath.
Oh yes, oh, they're all
2.
in line.
Oh my goodness, Diablo raining hellfire upon his enemies. Slip still alive on the Samuro. He's looking to find some auto attack kills to try to get this done. Should have a clone up and available. Murden low. Middle about to get converted, and this will be the 2nd of 3 converted bell towers. The Slug making an appearance as Evasion will convert the channel. That, however, takes an added shot with a mid convert. 6 more shots over to BxA. They're up 29-9, and they are also up. Yeah, 3 levels. This is it. They're gonna take top, boss. And then I don't think there's enough siege with both damage dealers dead to convert these back in time.
No, I don't think so. In fact, this might be bad. Yeah, there's the... All right, cleanse going out. I was going to say, if Brightwing goes in, that's just a water dragon on his face. It did go out. They did use the cleanse already. Kael'thas is in the middle, trying to get the middle bell tower back, but the top one is taken. Some barrages will start happening shortly. But again, boss is available. Slip
There's
start.
1 shot. Down to 8. There's 2
That'll
shots.
Be 4 from them.
They're 1 altar away.
1 altar away, 1 siege camp away. I mean, everything. Basically, Evasion on Abathur, he's in the driver's seat for the rest of this map because he can go wherever he wants to. He can hat top lane. He can. I mean, he just has free control over this map now.
All right, 2 bell towers converted. However, BxA now can position, you know, bot and mid and just sort of take their pick here. Tracer on the Dahaka under a bit of pressure there. They've got all 5 members. Do Abusement Park in the bot lane. Abathur actually is down there as well. All right, so so this will likely be the end of the game, barring a miracle. But for Abusement Park, if they act quickly enough, they may be able to get this fight in before BxA can hit the 20.
Well, it's going to be a close one. They need to do it now, though. We can already see that the two globals are bottom, and Eds is just immediately headed to the point, off on a silo by himself. Tracer on they're gonna try to dive in with the globals. Rossi is low but survives for the time being, but Slip is in the back line with an Abathur head on. Rossi survives. Satat not so much. No, Greymane will be the one falling here. The Great Power Van dies to the Blizzard. Murden goes down, and this likes like going to be game going over to Broken Alliance as they completely just annihilate this game. This is a complete reversal in terms of you know, team fighting action. Like 20 kills to 4. Insane.
Oh boy. So the double globals go down. This time they are felled by the Abathur Samuro composition. I think it's fair to say that Slip was the MVP there.
I mean, yeah, between the Samuro and the Abathur, they basically just ran the map. Like they everything was in their control. And then Met on Jaina just had free reign to do as much damage as he could. But yeah, the Samuro Abathur worked out really well. And Brightwing Dahaka didn't as much. That really wasn't the answer that Abusement Park needed. And they picked it so early that they couldn't really adjust that well, I feel, in the draft because they picked that early.
It takes a little while for Dahaka to sort of get going. And he's really not threatening to Samuro. We actually did see some good dunks come out from Tracer there on the Dahaka in game number 2. I mean, but the problem is, you know, with the double globals, unless you have like a great early game and you can sort of sit in lanes, not be threatened, and just soak the XP up. Samura was in all 3 lanes. Dahaka was just stuck in top. There really was no moving in that game at all. And listen, it seemed to snowball. Oh boy, I would probably say from, you know, that early level 10 from BxA on. I mean, it seemed to be the point at which they really just seized that game and took control.
Yeah, absolutely. So really great job from Broken Alliance. You know, that's something that I more expected to happen because that's the kind of game that they've been playing all season long. And Abusement Park, they took game number 1 with ferocity, and I would say Broken Alliance is okay. Hold on, hold the phone here. We gotta get back into the series.
And Slip also 100% trying to get a little bit of redemption there. You know, that poor game on the Tracer followed up by just a masterclass in what Samuro can do, especially on a map like Towers. You know, you also get the bonus there for Samuro where you always have somewhere to retreat. And, you know, the other key really to that comp, it seemed like Hunter was very, very comfortable on the Diablo. That was banned out in the first set, and it was definitely a key there in game number 2.
He's in Twitch chat right now. Has to point out, by the way, he out-soaked both Abathur and Samuro.
Did he really?
He did.
Okay.
I checked.
We're pointing it now. Hunter stepping in tonight, trying to make his case. You know, trying to say, hey guys, I'm still here. This is a really neat part of this, you know, of the scene, really, where a lot of the amateur teams, BxA included, are like trying to fill out rosters. You've got the Division S qualifiers, which will be coming through here for Heroes Lounge, and a number of other events will certainly be coming through in the near future. All right, we're hopeful to get our map pick. See who's picking first soon. Game number 3 will be coming up shortly as soon as we can get that going. I'm your host, Professor Bobo, joined tonight by the dashing Gravesville. Graves, what's going on in your life, brother? You were playing Hearthstone earlier tonight. I know you've been messing around with the Smash. You're still doing the stream things. What's happening, man?
Yeah, doing the stream things. Having a lot of fun, just mixing things up. I still enjoy Heroes a lot. I've been doing a lot of casting lately for Heroes Lounge, specifically more Division 1. Division S is coming, and I am very excited for that one as well. Broken Alliance, so I talked to Metball earlier in the season. Yeah, we're signing up for that 100%.
Yep. Yeah, BxA, I mean, they stated sort of immediately after the Hotspocalypse they're not going anywhere. The Abusement Park guys are looking too. I've seen Aortic Arch. I want to see if you can find, a group of guys willing to jump into Division F as well. So we'll hope to see both of those crews here. All right. Smitty wants to know who you main in Smash, by the way.
Oh, that's such a good question, and I don't know if I have an answer yet. actually got a complaint that I hadn't been playing in a whole lot lately. I'm like, you're right, I haven't been playing a lot lately. I don't know. I kind of am a fan of basically any Fire Emblem character because they have swords and they hit fast. I've been playing a lot of Marth lately, so we'll go with that one because that was my main in Melee, and I hadn't played any Smash between Melee and Ultimate, and I'm like, well, I guess I'll just play Marth again.
Right on,
So now you know.
Hey, listen, Smitty wanted to know. I've got to be in like the bottom 1% of all Smash players ever. My
GSP says 2, so that means I'm the second best player, right?
I don't even know what that is. Okay.
Okay.
Dude, like people ask, you want to play Smash? I'm like, the only thing I could do with Smash is take Kirby and then swallow somebody and then jump off the platform and just seppuku it. That was literally all I could do in Smash. That's been kind of going around, but no, man. Listen, shout out to Lounge for setting up Division S. Listen, if you guys aren't over, head on over to the HeroesLounge website. You can catch all the Div S setup as it's coming through. I know teams are coming through for the qualifiers. It's really cool to see actually like some of the old pro teams have been showing up, right? The Mena team with who wound up being on that team? That was Mena,
JPL.
Was Smexy playing with them too?
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember.
Ooh,
I just remember like those two being together was awesome already.
Listen, we might have lost HGC, but we did get JPL back. Thumbs up to that one. Mets. All right, Mets trying to find out. Your map, baby. Abusement Park wants first pick, so BxA will have map pick for game number 3. We'll find out where we're headed soon.
Smitty is a Wii Fit trainer main, by the way.
Like I didn't even that's a hero in this game. All right, sure. Lucky's in
just
chat.
Nintendo things.
Jumping in, doing lucky things. What's happening, brother? We'll play some pub. Maybe if you answer your messages this weekend, you dingus. All right. So if tradition holds, BxA would likely take us, I think, to Dragonshire. I'll put him on the spot there. They love
maybe they got something up their sleeves. Maybe they're like, no, they expect us to go though, so we'll go to shrines. That could be a thing. But no, I do like Dragonshire a lot. Again, the macro game last game we saw it from BxA worked out really well in their favor. So I would expect them to try to go for another macro focused map potentially. Maybe even something like Cursed Hollow. Who knows?
No, we knew it. We're headed to Dragonshire. All right, listen, this is just the way BxA play. So BxA, listen, for like Gravesville and I, a lot of, we cast all across the amateur scene. So like we've seen BxA in both NGS and also for Heroes Site. They compete in the amateur series, like every tournament they can. They love Volskaya. They love Dragonshire. If you give them 2 map picks, that's likely where we're headed. And game number 3 will take place there. I love Dragonshire. It's a difficult map to play. It's more popular in NA as you like move up the ladder. I think it's at its most popular probably here up in Div 1, and that's sort of anecdotal. I don't quite back that up. Somebody in chat might be able to look that up in stats and call me out if I'm wrong. Let's get everybody set up in the lobby here. But again, listen, we expect to see globals. I'm not sure about the Abathur though. You can play Abathur here. It's not incredibly common.
Yeah, you can play him here. It's a little more difficult. You can see some fun plays where the Abathur gets into the dragon himself. But Abathur, I still feel like the pick worked out really well for him in the last game. I think the first game it still was fine, but I wouldn't expect him to be picked up here. So that means for Abusement Park, that might be the thing that says, okay, well, now what do we do? We know that they like to play Abathur, but if we don't see him here, what can we expect? So that's almost an advantage for Broken Alliance because they've been showing very similar team comps, and now they might just pull something out that their opponents don't know about.
Man, I'm like trying to jog through the memory of the different things that they can wind up playing. I mean, Slip has played Tracer and Samuro, so I'm actually trying to cue in like what's the weird hero that you can wind up playing on Dragonshire for Slip. Teams moving in the lobby right now. Something in the top lane. So, yeah, again, like Abathur play on Dragonshire is kind of like odd. You feel like you might struggle in like in the early game if you're like not on top of your macro, and maybe the other team winds up pulling out like a rush comp a little bit. But it's just ever present pressure, and you just can't leave a lane alone. You can play it here, like I said. It does tend to like move down in priority. We'll see if they got a little bit of a weird draft. All right. So, game number 3, 1-1 set. Sky Temple and Tomb have been banned out. We have moved from Volskaya over to Towers of Doom. And now we are on to Dragonshire for game number 3. We'll check to see if everybody's ready. Abusement Park ready. We'll get the word from Met before we hop in. Oh boy. Do we get another Rossi Brightwing game?
Potentially. It has worked out for them really well. Even that last game, you know, I questioned sometimes whether they should have been doing something with the Brightwing, for example, but I feel like the Brightwing play itself has been on point.
Oh, 100%. No, Rossi's looked really good with this hero. Like I said, I think Brightwing had like a lower 40s win rate across Lounge. Like, people have been trying to figure out how to make this hero work. What is the best situation for her? She didn't make a dent on the pro scene post rework. And it can be tough to figure out where does she wind up working. But again, Rossi's been looking good on it. All right, everybody ready? Looks like we're headed to draft for game number 3. Dragonshire between BxA and Abusement Park. I actually want to check that Brightwing win rate. Let's hop on over. I think we might have looked at it once before.
Now I want to know if that's a 100% Water Dragon win rate as well.
Oh, God. I got to dig that up. It might be. Yeah, I mean, you can see here, like, Brightwing, 43% win rate. That's really low for supports. I'm trying to think of it. Like, the only supports that are down with win rates that are that low are, like, Deckard has really been shoved down into that sort of oblivion, if you will. So she struggled, but, listen, there's a lot of players that love her. The murder bot herself. And Rossi showing that you can make the hero work.
Really good in the Tracer, found out. I would expect to see Tyrande not make it through once again from either of these teams. I don't know if Abusement Park really does want to ban the Abathur or not, though. That's kind of the big question. Do you think that they would play it? And if you do, how do you respond? Because last time they responded with the globals. Okay. Well, we don't even want to leave that out as an option. Okay.
Part of the problem is if you were to leave Abathur open, you would have to spend a ban on Samuro. Like, really early. Because I don't know if Slip would let it go deep into the draft. I think he might just even, rip the Samuro there. But the Abathur is taken away. There's the Anubarak ban. Again, Eds in game number 1 was fantastic on the bug. Did a great job. And BxA have responded with 2 straight respect bans on Anubarak.
Yeah, and I would say rightfully so. I think Anubarak's just in a really good, strong spot in terms of the meta right now as well.
Love him.
Tyrande doesn't have to be the ban for Abusement Park. They could pick it up themselves. However, the Diablo is available, and we saw how well it worked out for them. Yeah, they're going to ban Tyrande. Okay.
So Tyrande taken out. Once again, popular heroes. Diablo mentioned Maiev. In my opinion, anytime you can pick Maiev on Dragonshire, it's just a free win. I think this has got to be her best map. I expect to see a Hygiena priority too, but Zeratul is lingering out there, and BxA do remove the Zera.
So we'll have to see. Okay, I'll say if they're gonna go for warriors, I'd have to see if they go for Diablo or Garrosh, and it seems like Garrosh is the priority for them.
The first pick, Harry Gary. So we'll see Ed's break out the Garrosh. Johanna instantly, moves on up. We could see, I don't know, maybe we get to see a Hanzo here, something with, deep range that's really going to bother Garrosh. I mean, Sylvanas actually does really well into him now. She tends not to get caught out. Dahaka and Maiev, really good pickups on Dragonshire. Those are 2 heroes that are hovering at like a 55% win rate.
So they'll have the global, they'll have the engage potential. Broken Alliance, that's a really strong start from them. Abusement Park, they don't have to pick their support now if they don't want to. We've seen that they are willing to choose perhaps off-meta picks with the Brightwing, so they could go for some damage here instead, or maybe even pick up their own solo laner up against the Dahaka.
Hey.
Now they're gonna stick with their guns. They said, nah, we like Greymane, we like Brightwing. It's worked well for us. Let's just go for it.
If you are a fan of Brightwing, welcome. Wild Diggy, Eds is pronounced AIDS. All right, all right, fine.
That's what I said originally. I'm like, nah, there's no way.
No, that's all right. All right, AIDS on the Garrosh. I'll try not to make an inappropriate joke. Jaina does get banned out here. That's interesting because Jaina is the best pairing for Maya, but BxA do go ahead and remove the hero. We're getting another Greymane game. Zanaris has looked really good on Greymane in both games, even though didn't have the success there in game number 2. Listen, I like that pickup, especially on a map like Dragonshire, where the Greymundo is going to get massive Merc camp value.
So last ban here for Team Abusement Park. It is Johanna. Yeah, that's good into Garrosh. It's wave clear that you'd want to get rid of. So what do you do now if you're Broken Alliance Gaming? They could go for the Murden, which we saw on the opposite side last time, if they're just looking for that real strong engage. They already have it with the Dahaka and the Maiev, so it seems like a common pairing, and they probably have enough wave clear between the two that they currently have as well for that to be an option.
So, what do we got here? We've got a Stitches and a Lily. All right, Hunter, let's see
What a Dragon follow-up to a hook.
We thought it might have been Johanna. You can see there on the bottom, Johanna's got a 55% win rate here in Lounge for season number 1. But one of my favorite heroes, Stitches, a little bit better, up at 56%. So, the optimal play here is being made. And Satat breaks out the Lily again.
In chat saying ready for adventure as well. Malthael picked up. That is strong against the Stitches and Dahaka, as Mephisto is the last pick for Team Abusement Park. That's not one that you see that often, but it might work out pretty well here just with that constant poke harass.
Malthael is a really big problem for Stitches. BxA is going to have to watch that. Malthael is so good into Stitches, is just low peel, and his big fat HP pool are just begging for trouble from death. And Rainer is going to follow that up. Wow. Okay. Lily versus Mephisto. Definitely the matchup to keep an eye out on, right?
Absolutely. I really like the Rainer pick, though, as the last for Broken Alliance Gaming. Ace in the hole is going to get so much value against what they're showing. You know, it procs off of stuns and slows, or is it roots? I'm trying to remember.
Well, Ace in the hole. It will proc off of slows. So
Water Dragon.
Yeah, I mean Stitches.
It'll proc off of Water Dragon.
Stitches is
not slam.
Stitches is going to feed. This is the other part of it. You've got Stitches against a decently mobile backline, but if Hunter can be patient, especially with the Mephisto there, which is just an awesome pick by Great Power Van, that could be a matchup that does wind up tilting this one. And then we get the off-lane Malthael. Okay, we've got Malthael and Dahaka in the top lane. You know, that's probably the most popular off-lane matchup right now. Those heroes do wind up coming through quite a bit. All right, game number 3. We are ready. We can head on in, Fal. Cue us up. We're good, brother. Let's do this. Got him. All right. Thanks, buddy. Much appreciated. Let's go ahead and flash the pop-ups here. For BxA, we are going to have Slip on the Maiev, Satat on the Lily, Evasion on the Dahaka, and Hunter CJ on the Stitches.
And on the right-hand side, it is Abusement Park with AIDS on Garrosh. Great Power Van playing Mephisto, Zanaris on Greymane, Tracer playing Malthael, and Rossi rounding things off once again on that Brightwing.
This gentleman is... Oh, okay, we're correcting it. It's AIDS on the Garrosh. A shout out there. Keep an eye on the Gary, because this was like an early pick, Garrosh, which can oftentimes be punished out. Hunter CJ moved to counter him out with the Stitches. There's the first throw. Dahaka, the early target.
Yeah, nice job. They had the follow-up. However, that's a nice tongue on a Garrosh. Rossi looking for a save. Doesn't get it in time. First blood going over to BxA.
Big value there from Great Power Van, but Mephisto goes a little bit too deep. And the Provincial Council loses one member off the bat. Tracer goes down as well. Big damage coming on out there. BxA taking that trade 3-1. Maiev did wind up getting traded out there. But now we've already got, you know, the Globals moving up into the top lane and an early advantage for Broken Alliance.
Yeah, I just have to say, Ace in the hole, level 1, good pick from Metball. It is stuns and slows, by the way, and we can see the amount of stuns and slows that they have.
Quite a bit.
Getting a lot of value there.
Stitches really, really helps feed Rainer. And we'll have to keep an eye out on the build for the big fellow. We're going to start off with Patrick Creation at level 1. Great talent, and on a great map. On a map like this where minions are ever present, Stitches gets even more sustained just from the minions crashing on into each other. Maiev, with Nisha's Memento, has moved to take the camp up in the top lane there. It is a double camp play. We see Raynor in the bottom, Bruisers capped, as well as Giants. BxA making a quick macro play.
So they do have the double camps. Top lane, we do have Tracer up here. He will have to clean that out. He'll struggle a little bit early on. In fact, this might be rotation onto him. He smells it coming. Satat throwing some wind at him, but he gets away just fine. As the hook going out onto AIDS, he is under towers, tanking some of that, but Rossi comes down for some heals.
Level 4 unlocked already for BxA. They have a 1-level lead. They're putting pressure on the Malthael up in the top lane. Malthael, and some people will debate this, but I think he beats Dahaka in lane 1v1. So if you could use the camp, the Bruiser camp, the Knight camp in the top lane in the early game, there's a throw on Hunter. He should be all right. And if you can take that well out, that is a huge issue for Malthael. Great power vein trying to slide on out up at level 4 there. He does get a huge talent and a big boost from Mephisto with Static Barrier. Malthael does wind up going down to the tower dive, and Broken Alliance Gaming are about to take the fort up in the top lane.
Yeah, they're just running it down, and there's really not an answer for Team Abusement Park. Like, they have a push bottom lane, but it's not nearly as good as the one that they're showing top lane. So they need to do something about it. His evasion coming down, gets the tongue, but nice cleanse there from Rossi. Hook going out, does land on a Brightwing. She doesn't have an escape any longer, so that will be Brightwing going down.
All 5 members of BxA have shown up. Evasion with the flank and the burrow from Dahaka. He'll make his way on up top. And in the bottom lane, the Moon Shrine being converted by BxA. Malthael will break the channel in the top lane. Greymane moving towards Knights there on Abusement Park side. AIDS low. Gate has gone down. There's the hook. Did we get the kill confirmed? We do. And Harry Gary is gone.
Nice job there once again from BxA getting the follow-up crowd control. Team Abusement Park, they need to make sure that they don't fall this, far behind early. And it's easy to say that, but they really haven't responded as well as they needed to. They didn't get an equal push in top lane. They didn't defend top lane. Tracer on Malthael dying under that push. And they can't afford to basically lose all of these structures this early on. If they can get counter picks, that would be ideal, but Stitches, he's got a lot of health.
All right, so Dragonshire is a map which, listen, everybody knows that 95% of all Dragonshire games end through bottom lane. So if you're gonna do what BxA did in the early game, and you're gonna put pressure on the top lane, it has to be more pressure than what you see in bottom. And Zenaris on the Greymane, didn't get down to that bottom Merc camp until a little bit too late. Malthael winds up getting picked behind the fort. The dig came through. Evasion winds up showing up there. And listen, BxA just more push, and you don't expect that up against a Greymane comp, and that's why they're leading this game, and they're leading hard. Satat
has a lot of healing to go out here, though. They are taking a lot of damage. Malthael will die here, as does the Garrosh. Nice set of picks there from Broken Alliance, and they'll steal their opponent's siege camp as well. I thought they might have been in trouble in that choke point, especially up against Mephisto, but great healing and great turnaround from Broken Alliance.
They will also take the mid forward here. Great power van using the Shade just to apply a little bit of pressure, but that's not going to bother anybody. Level 10's almost unlocked. If you're unfamiliar with new reworked Stitches, this is the build, baby. Patchwork creation at level 1, you get that extra bit of sustain, serrated edge, hook cooldown, and a little bit of bonus damage there at level 4 into Blight. Another big pickup. Hunter CJ does wind up getting flipped. Stitches is in trouble. Oh, that's the Jugs! And we were expecting a little bit more offense from Satat. It does not keep Stitches alive. See, he made the wrong move. Water Dragon or GTFO.
Yeah, Jugs would have, or Water Dragon would have got the counter kill. That's all I'm saying.
Fact. It would have scared the enemy team into leaving Stitches alone. Everybody knows it. That's what it's there for. After that exchange and a 2-level lead, BxA will step back and head on over to the Merc camps. Aid's a little late there on the Garrosh. No forts remain for Abusement Park.
Yeah, that's going to be catapult pressure in every lane as well. They have decent wave clear to clean that up, but the macro pressure with the camps has really been their biggest killer, and they haven't been able to clean it up effectively. Malthael's not the best at cleaning that bruiser camp, and we can see this early pressure, no level 10 on the side of Abusement Park, and it looks like they will get caught out. Flip though from AIDS. Slip is actually going to get the cleanse on himself. Rossi with the save, and despite being down level 10, no, Hunter looking for the kill, doesn't get it, but Lily will die. Zenaris going deep, gets the kill, go for the throat, secures the kill on a Rainer. Slip is low as well, but nice job, and they get the kill on the Stitches. Abusement Park, they started that team fight down a heroic polymorph, and despite all of that, they walk away with the kills.
Zenaris on the Greninja diving the back lane. He picked up the kill on the Lily, picked up the kill on James Rainer, almost actually finished off Maiev in there as well. And Abusement Park with this opportunity to pick up their first objective. Let's see if Brightwing can get the convert on mid. Rossi will be going up against Slip. Still a top lane camp pushing for BxA. This is an awkward spot for Abusement Park. I don't know. I actually think they're so far behind in the macro game, I don't know if they can pick up this objective. Oh, ISO missed.
Like that. Evasion actually used that isolation, missed it. Tracer under pressure. Rossi actually using the cleanse as well. They need to get out on it. You can see the rest of the team collapsing. Torrents of Hate being used as well, but Mephisto will die here on that rotation.
9-5 in terms of kills. And now, up at the top lane, the Sunshine about to be converted there. James Rainer up there. Jimmy will have Garrosh and Malthael trying to run it down on him. Evasion and Satat are in the area. Jug's up and available. And there's Raider doing a bit of poking. There's under CJ. Hot flank coming through from the big fella. There comes Stitches. Brightwing's going to teleport in, but she is right in the middle of a bile sandwich. Yeah. Rossi gone into the fray, nearly keeping Brightwing alive. Garrosh will be next. Met is there. Taunt not quite going to do enough to help you out there. Mephisto does show up a little bit too late. Slip doing work in the mid lane. You'll have to watch out for Zenaris on that Greymane. There's Evasion.
Oh, gets away.
Quick moves from Greymane.
Hook potentially out onto this Mephisto. I don't know if he gets away. No, they're not going to. They're going to say, hey, let's keep walls. But yeah, Broken Lions doing a really great job so far in this game. They find themselves up almost 2 levels already. They have level 13. They have another Dragon Knight. Yeah. And this is going to march towards bottom keep.
Should be a keep. Listen, this is like an 8-minute dragon. Still pretty weak. But Rainer has very good siege. We've got Stitches here to try to protect. And of course, Lily with Jugs up and available in a few more seconds will be able to provide some extra sustain over the keep there. Aid steps up. Garrosh takes the kick. A little bit of focus here. The throw onto Evasion gets hooked back. Jugs comes out, but Lily gets interrupted. Zenaris goes in with a Greymane, but he's all right. Turns to Fate connects on 2 members. The front line for BxA is under trouble. The Dragon Knight almost done. Keep gone. About 20 seconds left on the Dragon, who might find a kill. Yes, Mephisto goes down. Credit to Stitches. Evasion slides up. The silence on Garrosh, who does get kicked away. That 1 kill, probably not enough to get a core. BxA will retreat out, but it's a pretty darn good victory. We're not even 10 minutes in. No forts remaining for Abusement Park, and the first keep is gone in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, just when you look at these team fights, look at the health bars. Satat on Lily has been keeping the team alive, and you know, Team Abusement Park, they've just been falling apart and just getting whittled away from what we see at Jim Rainer. He's got the right clicks, and it's been showing in these team fights.
And they're just so behind in macro. Like I said, this is kind of, you know, textbook Dragonshire. BxA was faster to the early camp rotates. They got more out of the top push, which oftentimes can be a dangerous push at that. And they just set themselves up in a position where even if they do lose a team fight, at least for the, you know, the middle parts of the game, which, you know, we're just about through, the death timers were short enough that, you know, even if they do make a mistake, they were able to just not give up an objective. And over the course of just over time and just the bleed out from the macro game, they did wind up taking it. Slip with the jump on the vault. Actually did get a cleanse there. The cage comes out, pulls Mephisto on in. There's 3 members in there. A's in trouble. Brightwing does teleport in. Jugs comes out. Lily on the back line trying to stay alive. Putrid Bile is out there. Zenaris is way deep trying to find some kills. Durance came out. Not enough. Mephisto low. Once he snaps back, he'll be gone. Greymane has gone down as well. Can we get a hook? Maybe? Boom! Oh, Rossi gets pulled in. There's the chains. Slip is up and ready. Brightwing does go down. And with 3 members down, yeah, that looks like it's going to be an evasion. A little bit of trait there from Dahaka. Gravesy looks like this is going to be it.
This looks like it will indeed be at Broken Alliance Gaming. They dropped the first map of the season so far, but game number 2 coming out strong. Game number 3 coming out even stronger, finishing things off on Dragonshire. 11 minutes in. GG and well played.
Zanaris with a go for the throw to the end. Lily, not that much adventuring. Well, BxA remain undefeated. But you know what? Shout out to Abusement Park. The first team to take a map off of them. And boy, that game 1 in Volskaya was a lot of fun. It was a game 3. Listen, didn't go quite perhaps as planned for Abusement Park. But again, Dragonshire is a map that BxA just absolutely specializes in. They know how to play this one. It is 100% their sort of second favorite map. And it shows, man. 17-7, a very quick game. I know the game time says 0 on the bottom, but that was what, maybe an 11-minute game? 11 and a half. Yep. Very, very quick and well played. Once again, this is like pretty standard stitches. Again, if you haven't been playing this hero in Heroes Lounge, give it a shot. He works really well. This is the build. And Satat on this Lily. 2 games.
Yeah.
The aggro Lily. 2 different. Improving the win rate on Lily. He was north of 50% as far as I remember. All right, we'll go ahead and we'll try to queue up the interview here. Gravesville, this sort of, again, we're setting ourselves up for the playoffs. BxA will certainly be the top team here in Div 1. But Abusement Park has had a good season, and they did some good things here in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Those last 2 games obviously didn't go their way, but we saw how well they can coordinate, especially game 1. They had the coordination to get the team fights there. They showed that Brightwing is perhaps a pick that teams could look for. Good job for them. They really did play well, especially in that first game. Just things kind of fall apart right at the end here.
I know, and they were very honest with us. They actually they had mentioned like they haven't had a lot of time to play. But they kind of dealt as best they could with all of the BxA shenanigans. So just to refresh really quick again, another 2-1 game. We're going to go ahead and we'll get Met pulled in shortly. Before we do that, of course, always a shout out to chat. Ghost Dunk, 9 months in a row. One of my oldest friends in HOTS, an inspiration, a legend. And I sub back out him. Shout out to Ghost. All right, let's see if we can pull Met in, man.
Yep.
Hello?
All right, buddy. Hold on. I got to get Graves back. We click some buttons in a slightly wrong order. Hold on. We've got Met. I've got Graves back. Okay. I got to click the buttons right. Let's head on over to the interview lobby. All right, with our triple cams. All right, ladies and gents. We are joined by the captain of Broken Alliance Gaming, BxA Met. My man, what's happening? How we doing?
What's up? Nothing much. I mean, chilling, getting back to the grind of things, getting all the rust off.
All right, on.
Working things in, figuring out roster stuff, doing all the nitty-gritty stuff before the big stuff, comes up, of course.
Yeah. And listen, you guys are going to certainly be involved with the big stuff, but tell us about the journey here in Heroes Lounge. For the season, we know you guys have been going through a lot of tryouts. You've been seeing some familiar faces. Certainly, you've been playing here, but a successful season thus far.
Yeah, I think we actually used the beginning of the season for tryouts. We had a set roster for X amount of time in between the season, and now it's kind of in that stage where, we're trying things out, seeing what works the best. Overall, getting more practice in a competitive league format.
Excellent, man.
Yeah.
So, let's see, you've been with Broken Alliance for a couple of months. I just want to start things off by asking you, I mean, even if you can't go into too many details, what's the plans for you guys and for your team? Because for, those of you guys who don't know BxA, this is a group that I knew in NGS, picked up a sponsor really late last year. They've been doing some really good things in Hero Site. They were great in the open division late. They were looking good. And we know you guys are sticking around in HOTS. So, what do you think 2019 is going to bring?
So 2019, we're looking at a lot of different things. So first of all, I'll go into this. Once we have, our set 5, once everything's good, rocking and rolling, we're finally stabilized. We're going to be doing a lot of content and doing a lot of community interaction. That's something big that we want to do within the HOTS community.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of just games, anything with the community, content, all that good stuff. for like more heroes wise, we're gonna be playing at more lands that are gonna be showing up. There's actually a land in like Montreal that our org is sending us out to in
Hey.
less than a month now. So we're gonna be playing at that, repping BxA.
Very cool. Don't get into too much trouble with Camille and the Montreal crowd. That's a rowdy group actually.
Oh, dude, I'm ready for it. I've been waiting for it. We're scrimming them Sunday. I'm ready for it.
Attaboy. Right on,
Yeah.
man. Right on, man. Graves,
Yeah.
you want to take over? bud?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I congratulations first of all. You played really well here. Did drop the first map though. You guys decided to go for Tracer up against the Brightwing, whom I was like, Brightwing, what's that all about? But you decided to go to Tracer into it. What happened game one? Let's just talk about that.
So I mean, I'll be straight honest. We played like that was disgusting. I think we completely got out drafted, but I think how we played was really, really poor. To be honest with you, I think our draft is kind of weird. We kind of ran stuff that we didn't practice before. We were testing things out, and that's the biggest thing, right? We ran like Lily, whatever you want to call her, like 2-3 games, seeing how it feels, seeing the weaknesses, the strengths, all that good stuff. It was a period of test. I mean, Slip apologized after, but it's all good. We're seeing what works, testing the limits, as we say.
Why the Lily? Like, why do you feel like she works?
I don't know, dude. I mean, Todd's been, dude, Lily. I'm like, Lucio, now Fury, Lily. And it's been like strict on, I have like a 20-second cleanse, Lily. So I'm like, and every one of our games we lose because the games that we lose, it's either we get out drafted and they have like 10 more years of CC than we do and we're just stuck and we don't have a cleanse, or it's just like we have no CC and they run around just beating the crap out of me, to be honest with you. So it's like a mixture of those. So Lily kind of fixes those problems, and I don't know. The blind's really nice to a lot of heroes. Today they ran a lot of Greyman, and I feel like Greyman was pretty much completely voided with those blinds. I think a lot of supports are in a good spot, to be honest with you. Like there's so many supports I want to try, but every time I bring them up because I think they're good, it's just Lily, Karan, put me on. Just like, and we do good with it, so it works out.
Right on, man. Right on. Who do you guys play in round 8? You got one more, right?
Yeah. So, who are we playing?
Who do you got? What's the end of the season looking like?
I don't know too much. Maybe we'll spice it up a bit.
Okay.
See what happens and have some fun with it. I don't know too much though, to be honest with you. We kind of play by ear,
Very cool.
and we see what happens. I think the biggest thing right now is trying to get that set 5-man roster before the Montreal LAN and before Div S.
Yep.
Kind of comes to a close because that's actually coming up closely, and there's really good competition in that. So pretty excited.
Graves, any more questions before Mets brings us on out?
No, I don't think so. I've cast you guys a few times this season. You guys have done a lot of changes, little improvements here and there. I think it's really worked out for you. So congratulations. Hopefully we'll see you again in the future.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. The casts are honestly awesome, and the production value, A+.
Hey.
All I heard is in the beginning, Slip was like, "What is this?"
Oh yeah,
open the stream.
We're messing around with a couple things. So like this is like alpha. We've been doing this for a while. I've been really trying to just get more info out early, in the cast, and try to introduce people to teams and players, and let people know what the standings are and stuff like that. So Crow and Foul, who do just utterly amazing work, are gonna kind of walk all my crazy ideas through reality. And I think Sunday I'll probably pick up a cast and we'll see if we can do some more things. But again, I really like putting the emphasis on the teams, and now individual players. Especially in 2019, I think it's really important that people know who you guys are, how to find you, and start to make a better connection with teams too. Just even having cursory information about trying to find out the heroes they play, the maps they're this isn't HGC anymore. It's going to be tough to make a connection with teams and people who follow the amateur leagues. Maybe just by finding an extra couple pieces of information, they just might find somebody that they can follow here in the season. So, again, it's all about you guys, man. Love to see it.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Shout-outs, man. What do you got for us?
Is it time for my Bible to open up the shout-out Bible?
Preach.
All right. So, preach to, first of all, the casters. I mean, I already just said thank you. But once again, really, really thank you. I say it every game we're casted. It's a huge honor. Shout out to Broken Alliance Gaming. You guys are a great org. I mean, honestly, the things you do for us, for everything way you support us, it's just through everything, and I really appreciate it. Shout out to Broken Alliance Gaming. Shout out to everyone watching. These games are super fun. You know, when seeing the chat kind of rolling and everyone having fun with it, you know, poking fun and all that good stuff. Thank you for coming around and watching. Shout out to the team. I know we're kind of like in this weird reconstruction phase once again, but I know I really like it. It's kind of fun meeting new people, playing with new people, seeing what works. The work has been crazy, and I know we're shaking off rust, getting draft in order, and all that good stuff. So keep pumping, and I can't wait to hang out with all you guys in Montreal. A few more shout outs. Shout out to Sean, Redman, Blue. I promise I give him a shout out. Like 4 shout outs late, but shout out to you. Shout out to my friend Joe and Eliza. And there's my Bible.
Got him.
Everyone have a good night.
Get out of here. We'll see you in a couple weeks, brother. Good luck, man.
See you guys.
Matt always has a laundry list. It's awesome. And he's really good about rehearsing it too, man. Ghost Dog was pointing out he's got the Academy speech ready. It's true. He could do the Emmys, the Globes, and the Academy back to back to back. All right, that is gonna wrap things up for us tonight. Graysville, tell everybody where they can catch your handsome face.
Yeah, you can find me over at twitch.tv/Gravesville. I'll be there every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, either casting, doing my own stuff, or not being there because I'm lazy. But thank you, Bobo, for hosting me. It was a lot of fun. Thank you to Fal, who's not here. It was, the whole production. Everything is nice.
Hold on, we always add Fal in,
yes,
just so he can say goodbye.
Yeah, and while I do that, Crow is in chat. Thanks for all the graphics. If you like the production, that's also a piece to the puzzle.
Graphics by Fal and Crow. Fal, brother, thank you for observing tonight. Were you excited to see so much Brightwing? I know she is your beloved.
Oh my god, it was so good. This game had so many dragons in it, man. There was like a dragon knight. There was like a water dragon.
I think there was a dragon in every game. Some games have two, man.
Yeah, so it was the best series ever.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
And Fal, like I said, people in chat were like, hey, the overlays are good, that looks good. Again, this guy helps to enable all of that stuff. If you're not up on what Fal does, you should get queued in, especially if you're a caster. This is a good guy to know. He does magical things. Much appreciated, brother, and thank you for observing tonight.
No problem.
All right, fam. We need to go find ourselves a host. We're going to be out of here shortly. I am Professor Bobo. Graysville, thank you once again for being here, brother.
Yeah, thanks again for having me.
Much thanks. Shout out to everybody in Lounge. We'll be back soon. But for now, you guys have yourselves a good night.